Hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is Wednesday, February the 12th, 2020. And we're ready to get right into tennis and other smack talk. Let's go! The last show we had was really fun. We had fun with it. It was so fun for me that I didn't get through everything. So I have a torn off sheet of one thing that I missed or we missed on the last show. So I wanted to mention this, and this has to do with Canadian tennis. There's a 17-year-old girl that took out Belinda Bencic at the Fed Cup qualies, and her name is Leylah Annie Fernandez. We have seen her play before, but taking down Bencic must have been a big deal for her. I get that it's on clay. That's no excuse. Bencic is, number 6 or 5 in the world? And this young 17-year-old took her out regardless. But Leylah Annie Fernandez is a strong-looking girl. It looks like she's fit. She's still very kind of wiry and raw, but she has the building blocks to be very good. So for Belinda Bencic, though, she's playing on hard court now in St. Petersburg.
Correct.
And I think she just beat Svetlana, the grunting, screeching
She beat her?
Kuznetsova herself. I think Bencic beat Kuznetsova and moved into the quarterfinal. So here we are, the clay and hard court dilemma. And we'll get into some of that, especially as we discuss Andre.
She did. It was a tight match, though. 7-6, 6-4 is pretty tight.
Yeah, good match. But real quickly, for the Canadian tennis program as a whole, so Canadian tennis as a whole, you got to give Canada some major props for their level of tennis. And they've always been, dominant in the world of tennis. But to have so many players active on tour, male and female, and doing big things is quite incredible. So very good job, Canada. The only reason, by the way, this young lady, Fernandez, was in the Fed Cup quali match anyway is because Andreescu and Bouchard are both nursing injuries. So she made the best of her opportunity, right?
Awesome. 17, yeah. Got a long way to go, right?
Yeah, so here's a couple things about the young lady. Left-handed player, two-handed backhand, prize money, a whopping $57,148. And in her young career, her record is 61 wins to 39 losses, and that's a 61.4% winning percentage. And real quickly, we're going to end this topic. Here's a list of some of the current Canadian tennis players on tour, not historically, I'm just saying current. Okay, we have people like Daniel Nestor, the doubles guru, and so many other people that are retired. But Bianca Andreescu, injuries, and we'll talk about that. That's kind of going to be on today's show. This is still yesterday's. Milos Raonic, Eugenie Bouchard, Pospisil, who I think just took a first set off Medvedev, and we're going to get into Medvedev on this show. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Schnur won the New York Open. I think it was last year.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, even though, again, we've talked about that tournament. It's kind of odd. And Leylah Annie Fernandez. And there are a couple other ones. I think there's a Canadian player, and I didn't write this, but I think her name's like Dabrowski or something, and I think she's like 400 in the world. I've seen her play Challenger. So
Polinski's another one.
You're right. I don't know how I missed that one. Great mention there. So great job.
I like him, his glasses.
Yeah, and I just scratched this on here from yesterday, and I don't think I missed anything. Fernandez, the 17-year-old girl, won the Junior French Open, by the way, and was the first Canadian since Eugenie Bouchard to win a junior major. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I think it's a good win for her. I mean, she's got a long, long way to go still.
All right.
But anything can happen to the WTA Tour, like B-Dog says.
Let's go, B-Dog.
He says, look, he's like, Ostapenko just lost to Cornet.
Oh, and just in case, B-Dog's the type of dude that'd be looking at my hat, be like, I thought you were a Giants fan. I am. The hat was actually, didn't I get this when we had that little restaurant deal, and it was like a 4th of July special?
I don't know what you got.
We are in Lower Alabama, so the mindset is L.A. not being the Dodgers, but L.A. being Lower Alabama. But I am a San Francisco Giants fan, so L.A., Lower Alabama. Let's go! That's how we roll. All right, today's show begins now, and we're going to start this with a topic that involves Marion Bartoli. So for those of you who don't know who Marion Bartoli is, she's a longtime tennis player, retired. She has been through a lot of personal life issues with weight and her dad. Did she have a lot of problems kind of with the dad, like most of us tennis players with our dads do?
Yeah, the most common thing that every athlete to parent goes through.
Yeah, I think you used to get so frustrated with your dad, you had to tell him to get away from the stands. My dad would get so frustrated, he would like kick chairs, so we get it. But this segment involves a recent Marion Bartoli interview where she was discussing the current women's players on tour and their kind of overall demeanor after they lose a match. Okay, so kind of how this was a podcast we listened to, and I should have cited the actual podcast, and I thought about it writing it, but I couldn't find it again. Don't know. Anyway, brain fart. But I was listening to this, and Marion Bartoli indicated that the tennis players are different these days on the women's side than they were to her quote-unquote predecessors. Insofar as saying that the advent or the beginnings and inherent use of social media has prompted younger or newer women's players to be fake in front of the camera after they say or after they were to lose a match. She cited Ashley Barty. And when she lost at the Australian Open, she had like the little baby in her lap, and she was comparing kind of that as a way to. You all right over there?
Yeah.
Like choking on a lung. You gotta breathe a little bit.
I'm trying to.
Let's go.
My throat got really dry.
All right.
Really dry.
Hacked a loogie in my ear. I'm just playing. I hope you're all right.
Yeah, it's itching bad.
Nothing but law for you. Let's go. You gotta call an ambulance.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so the correlation that Barty was making was, girls these days are so fake. It's because of social media and their fake existence on social media. This isn't her quote. Now I'm exaggerating it, but this is the flavor. Their fake existence on social media. They make this fake existence for the world to see. And now it's become such a part of our society that in tennis, they're fake in front of the microphone, alluding to the fact that if she lost, she would be all pissed, like, lost, break a racket. Not really. I'm exaggerating now. But, they should be like, next question, I lost, whatever. That's the flavor.
I have to disagree with her. Anytime that a player acts that way when they lose in their interviews.
Like Osaka.
Or people give him grief. I think Serena was one that said, I didn't play good, I didn't play professional, and we even gave her a lot of, crap for it. So I think that girls are acting more professional. You can't really act like it's the end of the world. You're an athlete, next match, like some say, well, it wasn't my day. Tomorrow's another day, and I will do better in practice. I mean, what can you do? You're a professional athlete. You're not supposed to pout. And Bartoli would be the last person that I would listen to. I mean, she was really lucky to win a slam, in my opinion, against your favorite player, Lisicki. She won against Sabrina.
No, she beat Kuznetsova, isn't she?
She beat Lisicki in the finals. Do you want to bet
No,
on
that was the French Open.
She won a Wimbledon.
Yeah, you're right. I know that.
Yes.
She won Wimbledon. You said Lisicki. I was thinking it was Kuznetsova for a minute, but no, they met at a different Grand Slam.
They met at a final. She was very lucky to win that. I mean, she was not an example tennis player. 2 hands on both sides, overweight, had an extended racket, had a horrible attitude, horrible toss, always looked at her dad, gave her dad grief. I mean, she wasn't the most pleasant player, so I would definitely not be listening to Bartoli.
Since we have started this show, Carla and I have always shredded some of the fake stuff that people paint for other people on social media platforms. And no disrespect there. It's part of life these days. It's part of life. As much as, we would be hypocritical because this is kind of
we use it. We have to use it to promote our channel, our business, everything.
So I would be a hypocrite saying, it's just crap. There's nothing good that comes from it because we do use it. However, with that said, there are a lot of young girls on the planet in which we live that get psychologically dismantled by people that troll people on their social media pages and so forth. We do it more business-wise so we can communicate with viewers, and some viewers don't comment here and they want to communicate with us and see our family on, say, Facebook or Instagram, or we're communicating with them about the show on those platforms. But a lot of young ladies and young men too they have self-confidence issues, and they take pictures of themselves to make themselves look better, and they look for the thumbs up to make them feel better. And it's a psychological thing, and I won't get into that. I mean, I have a psychology degree at the university level, but it's not. It's really a heartbreaking thing.
Sorry.
So again, this has nothing to do with Bartoli's take on it, but there are a multitude of young men and young women that are borderline suicidal these days and have taken their own lives over things that occur on social media. However, with that said, that's a very serious matter. A very serious matter for our youth. And as a father of 5, there is not one child in our home that we allow to have any social media platform, much less only one of our 5 children.
Well, we did find out one had it to put his musical stuff.
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, I did find.
We were laughing.
We were laughing about it. Yeah, but no.
I think he has like 6 followers.
Well, if you're gonna bring that up, I have to say it. Because we have 5 kids. The older one's 17, about to be 18, and go to college. And I just got him his first cell phone this year. So one of our younger kids, the second oldest boy, had a phone, and he kind of hid it from everybody, and it was no big deal. But the way he hid it, it was just kind of odd. It was like, why are you even hiding a phone? It was an old broken phone someone gave him. So anyway, but he was hiding it because he thought I would take it away if I found out that he was on Instagram. And I did. And I blasted it in the street. So just saying. But that's where that came from. And it's not because that I don't think that it's a good or a bad thing. It's just I don't want any of my children's mind being just pulverized by people on the receiving side. Human beings can be just brutal, right? No one listens to the quote, be kind, because everybody's fighting a tough battle by Plato and a trillion of other people. But in this context here, I think Bartoli, I agree with you. I think she is wrong. She puts the correlation between Barty and bringing the baby into the press conference.
I think that was the best thing she could have done.
I don't think it had anything. See, I would disagree with you there.
Well,
it wasn't intentional.
I'm not saying that she did that for that reason.
No,
but there is nothing wrong with her bringing her.
Her
little
there's nothing wrong with that.
I thought that was a different side of what we normally see.
And knowing Barty, the jolly soul that she is, the cheerful young lady that she is. I think I remember watching a match at one point where she brought her old doubles partner out on the court, laughs and giggles, and told Jim Courier to kind of step aside and let her doubles partner do the interview on Mega TV, right? As just being a jolly soul. I think knowing Ashley Barty, she probably brought the baby to the press conference just to be her jolly soul and great, the baby future tennis player. Let's go. Right. So, she just probably was like, man, let me see the baby. Just being happy-go-lucky, just being her jolly soul. So I don't like the correlation there. Now, I think if Bartoli would have correlated some of the fakeness with, say, Naomi Osaka, I would have agreed more. Because Osaka, my heart wasn't in it, I was just dealing with something off the court. Well, okay, I have to be careful being so tough on the female because they're a different animal, right? I mean, everything about the female is different.
They're so emotional. Like last night, I got to watch our high school team play, and I got, the girls are so different from the guys. The guys are very intense. And they fight against each other in the court, but when they leave, everything's cool. Whereas the girls, they stay mad at each other, and they're very emotional, and they don't know how to deal with it. They pout, they walk around,
Yeah,
it's just different.
And then, like last night, I think you said that Jonathan and Gabe were kind of in their each other's. They're friends, and they're like in their face the whole match. And then when it's over, I think Jonathan squeaked out a tight one, but nonetheless, it's over and it's squashed. But the girls, you coach the girls, and the girls go play their matches, and they're like kind of. You're kind of quiet, being snappy. I was going to say bitchy, but maybe that's not the right thing to say.
That is definitely not the right thing. I get mad when anybody says that.
Yeah, but let's just say there was one girl yesterday playing another one of our students, and one was being kind of snappy.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Yes.
And the other girl came out the court and was like, "Oh, I hate." And then the other one was like, "That's just me." So I'm out here. So there is I have to check myself on the female side of it because
we're different.
I'm a tennis coach and I'm a tennis player, but. I think sometimes I'll push the girls like super hard, and then I remember that, hold on, I'm maybe yelling at her too hard. Because
yeah, I heard one student tell me that.
I mean, the boys, I drive in, I'm like, come on, what are you doing? Move your feet, what are you doing? Come on, like, get down. Give me 20 push-ups right now, because that was whack. Don't do that again. And then there's this one student that always hits the swing volley, and when she could easily let it bounce and just kill it then, but she hits the swing volley and only makes like 2 out of 10. because it's so cool when you make the shot.
She's gonna watch the show. She's gonna get on you.
But I love her. I can't mention her name, but I love that girl. But the swing volley is just it's so inconsistent. And then I'll like throw her another, and I get so mad at her because she's like a really good player. And I'm like, stop doing the swing volley, give me a heart attack. And then I have to remember, wait a minute, this is a girl here. So the girls were different. But can I pick on Marion Bartoli for a second? Here she's trying to correlate Barty with being somehow fake because of a baby, whatever. Can we talk about her fake-ass tennis racket that she used to use? Okay, now if you don't know Marion Bartoli, she used to hit like a baseball player, forehand and backhand with two hands. Boom, boom, bye-bye.
I couldn't stand watching her. Even her toss. I couldn't stand watching Bartoli play.
Now, I think oversized rackets, in my opinion, like mega oversized, are piss poor. Don't like them, never cared for them, ridiculous. You might as well go to the beach and play paddleball. Her racket was 28.5 inches long. Standard racket these days is 27 inches. You can get a plus version, 27.5. But she had a custom-made print that was as big as a badminton racket with an extra-size big trash can lid on top of it. 104 square inch head. Now, I say 104 inch square head. We have to remember that Serena Williams hits with a 104 as well. So Serena hits with a big racket. Boom! Like, damn, why do you need 104 square inches? Anyway, paddleball. But her racket, Bartoli, was 28.5 inches long, an inch and a half longer than your common racket. I think they should, like, make rules about that.
They should.
Like the football, deflate gate with Brady. What's up, big dog? Hope we take air out the football. What's up?
Come on, that was never proven, really.
Deflating the football. Pretty good physics in that. If you can have the mindset to deflate the pressure per square inch PSI within the football to make it easier to throw or aerodynamics or to stick in the receiver's hands better, let's go. Too bad you got busted. Deflate gate. What? Sorry, B-Dog. She was ugly.
What? They won, and then they shoved it in the commissioner's face.
Yeah, wasn't there some sign stealing at a Bengals practice not terribly long ago or something?
Brother. Anyways.
Freaking sign gate or play gate.
All right, we're getting out of tennis. Let's go.
Anyway, 104 square inch head, 28.5 inches long. So let's pick on not Barty and the baby. Let's pick on your whack-ass tennis racket.
Again, why would she say anything? She really has nothing to say. Next
subject. And Amanda Anisimova releases her coach. And her coach you know more about than I do. I know he was with Goffin. I know he's with Henin and he's Rodriguez. But I think you know a lot more personally about him
Well,
than
we
I
all
do.
know he's the most famous for being Justine Henin's coach for many, many years. Very successful with her. He's from Argentina. I didn't know he coached Lena for 2 years, 2012 to 2014. Hanchikova in 2014. He also had Pen Shuai. I think one of our viewers liked Pen Shuai.
Shuai Peng. And Hanchukova, by the way, you mentioned her. Hanchukova is a good player, but she's an even better commentator. She's great calling
and
matches.
very classy, elegant lady. Pen Shuai or Shuai Pen. Oliver Rokas, we've heard of him. So he's had quite a resume, and he has an academy that he runs. I mean, I'm not surprised that she let him go. She just came back from a devastating loss. She lost her dad, and I think she quite hasn't, grasped, yet how to deal with it emotionally.
I think the best part about your statement there was bringing up Oliver Rokas. He was a fighter. Didn't he play like till he was 107 years old or something?
I don't know. He was a little guy.
Yeah.
He was fun to watch.
Yeah. And do you remember Fabrice Santoro?
Of course.
Do you remember
Santoro?
Santoro?
They were kind of similar, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I think they were kind of like nuggets on the court, but nonetheless, Santoro, by the way, speaking of Bartoli, he did the two-hander on both sides, didn't he?
Yeah, but he had a lot more touch in his shots.
And he fought. He
was a magician. He was a magician, and he had personality. Whereas Bartoli, you saw her, and you're like, here comes the Grinch. But anyways, I'm not surprised they didn't last too long. But again, she maybe doesn't even want to play tennis right now. Maybe she's just trying to find herself. Why spend the money on a coach, a high-profile coach? Instead save it, find yourself, find what you want to do, heal first, and then play.
Amanda Anisimova, in just my opinion, is too young and to make a coaching termination decision. I think there's probably more that meets the eye here. Someone behind the scenes something occurred, I'm guessing, because how old is she now? 18? 19? I mean, she came on the scene at 16, 17, 15 maybe. But I forget her age now. But I think there's no one under the age, I think, of 20s that are really mature enough to make a
17 years old.
She's 17, so there's no way a 17-year-old made this decision on her own. There was obviously birds chirping. Something didn't work out. Maybe it's just her dad. She, her father, which is huge and her coach and part of the team. She just hasn't, she can't just do it yet without, and that's understandable. You know what I'm saying? So there was more to it than this. Rodriguez is a classy coach. Look at his rap sheet, right? But hopefully Anisimova, I'm sure this is an emotional time for her. She's still a baby. To lose the father has got to be tough. Best of love for her moving forward. Best of love for Rodriguez moving forward.
He went back to his academy, they said. I mean,
yeah,
he
really
fine. Doesn't need to deal with that right now.
Yeah, I think the worry here is Anisimova and her progress psychologically moving forward, losing her father, always by her side at a very abrupt, unexpected time. And also, I can promise you, she didn't make the decision because my 17-year-old, Jonathan, I wouldn't let him make a decision for me if my life counted on it. Not because I don't trust him, because he's just too young to understand further than a couple moves ahead.
Shoot, we don't even let him make a decision on his college thing.
Our oldest son got a full ride college scholarship opportunity, but he wanted to go a long ways away from home, and it's local, but it's still a major university, everything included. And he's like, no, I wanted to go to Vermont, where I used to live. I want to go to Vermont. That's great, but sometimes being a little closer to home is easier to take care of business when shit hits the fan. But he'll understand that. But nonetheless, he's still waiting on like 3 other colleges. Let's go. All right, next topic. Why Maria Sharapova is no longer a threat. And I'm not talking about post-millennium. Oh, I'm not talking about
She was never even built like that.
I know. Okay, I'm exaggerating that. But I've brought up Sharapova not being a threat prior to and post the millennium accusation or bust. She got busted with that. Mm-hmm. This has nothing to do with that. It's on top of that. I have been reading, and I know you have been reading, some articles here and there as we are trying to write stuff to talk about, where sometimes she will go like 3 hours of sleep in a day or a couple hours of sleep flying from California for a photo shoot at the Grammys or Oscars, and then to New York to do this, and then here for a water bottle, da-da-da-da. Her social life is extremely incapacitating in terms of training for tennis, okay? Do you agree or disagree?
Yes, and I just have to show this hideous dress. I'm sorry. And she has I guess a billionaire boyfriend. So there you go, Dimitrov. You weren't good enough.
Well, Serena used to hang out with Dimitrov too.
I mean, would you wear that? I mean, look at that. What is that? That looks like my grandma's like nightgown in green.
I'm assuming she was paid to wear that or given that.
Yes,
plus like a
designer.
Rolex or something. Yeah.
Well, my grandma probably wore that as a nightgown, except this one is like lime green. Awful.
Tennis is a sport that you can't get by at all with just 3 hours of sleep. You have to sleep.
She was at the Oscars, right? Then she goes to New York. Then she has to present for what did she have to do? She had to go present a water bottle. I forgot what the name of the water bottle. So, okay, here it is. She had to head for Avion water event. So she slept like 3 hours. So she was in California to New York to then go present Avion water.
So, and look, good for her, but in order to be a threat in tennis, you have to be fresh. You have to train. Look, I can take a month or two off of tennis and my shots will be rusty. I'll frame a few, whatever. We all develop rust relatively quickly in tennis. Am I right or wrong?
Correct, yeah.
Tennis is a sport that takes constant attention. Whether you're on your off time, you throw in a day of skiing like Djokovic, or dive off your boat every once in a while like Nadal, or be Federer and go do a Barilla pasta commercial. Hey, ole! But nonetheless, you have to stay fresh. You have to stay fresh. And when you're sleeping for 3 hours a night at her advanced age for a tennis player, there's just no way you can be a threat. So I'm assuring you that when she shows up to tournaments, it's for endorsements, it's for sponsors, it's for showing the new outfit for Nike fall or spring or summer or whatever it is.
Right, spend like $200 on her outfit.
But she's not going to be a threat, so don't put her on your fantasy team, at least in my opinion. She'll screech your ear off if they have a fantasy team screech contest. She'd win that sucker cold. You might have to put Allison Risk in there. She'd squeal like a pig,
By the way, talking about Djokovic and Nadal and Federer, Stimpy Boy sent a message. He's like, do you think they should be in the Hall of Fame? I thought that was like really hilarious.
You have to have been in the moment on the last show when that comment came in.
that was hilarious. I think that we need to put their own tennis Hall of Fame.
Yeah, football. Tennis is not like boxing or football where in the offseason you can gain 20 pounds, chill out, not sleep very much, throw some parties in there, and then go back to training camp and get ready and shed the weight off. It doesn't work that way in tennis. You have to stay true the whole way through, or your threat level is very low. Understood?
Yes, understood.
All right, real quickly, talking about some bogus stuff. I mean, I want to bring this up, and we're going to hit right through this. But has anyone ever seen the McDonald's game, McMillions, with the Monopoly stuff? So I didn't know this and until not terribly long ago. I brought it up with Carla that there used to be like this group of folks that would scam this Monopoly game, right? So we talked about it, and all of a sudden the special jumps up on like HBO and how deep the thing went. Does anybody know? Do you know about this?
Yes, I mean, I was trying to watch it, but I fell asleep. But we heard about the scam. You've apparently been watching it.
Yeah, I mean, so they make these. This McDonald's had hired this printing company in a separate location, a really secure facility, to print all the game pieces for the McDonald's fries. And by the way, I think fast food is shit. I think we've eaten at McDonald's maybe once in the past year, and none of our kids eat there unless they're like with someone else, and we find out about it after the fact. Fast food, in my opinion, is shit.
It's not good, but I'm not gonna lie. If like I'm in a rush or something, like once in a blue moon, I'll crave a hamburger. Is what I get. A hamburger. You know, you do too. A hamburger.
Yeah, once a year, twice a year hamburger. At the most.
Yeah, not fries, just a hamburger. It's good.
So what people pull off these game pieces from the fries, and they send out millions of them that everyone gets, and then everyone has these little game boards of Monopoly, and they, got them all filled in, and they're always just missing this one, no one ever just won the one. Well, come to find out, this really freaking crazy scheme, long story short, unfolded where the prize winning pieces were kept in a vault, and these security teams went in and got the pieces, and they jacked the pieces and would give them to like their brother and sister-in-law, and they were just becoming like boom, 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 like what?
I think you just confused everybody. Watch the show if you can. Pretty interesting.
McMillions was getting jacked off by some really deep individuals. So I look.
You got to give him kudos. He was smart.
Dang, got busted. Too bad. But now I bet you the irony here is they're in jail, surely. So I bet you they're like, damn, I wish I had a Big Mac now. Freaking eating that inflated.
Big Macs are no good.
In prison you get dehydrated carrots. They've been sitting in like dry storage in the back. You get it inflated. You get the. Never mind. I'll change the subject. Anyway, there's you don't eat very well away. Let's just say you don't eat very well. You can, but it ain't very good. All right, next subject, which is one that you had about something that Kafelnikov. If you all know Kafelnikov.
Yeah, how do you say his first name? Yagnengmi? Yeah. I never said his
Look, there was a lot of nicknames for his last name.
But it's Kafelnikov. We remember him.
Great player.
He says Medvedev on his Twitter account, Medvedev won't repeat last summer results this year, and I don't see him making point on clay. Wherefore, top 15 at best. Hope I'm wrong. And then Brad Gilbert says, I think you will be wrong. I think I will agree with Kafelnikov on this one. Right now, Medvedev was down one set, correct?
Medvedev, yeah, Pospisil is playing Medvedev now, and before we started, Pospisil had taken the first set.
And he just won 6-4, 6-3.
Ooh!
So, I think I have to agree with Kafelnikov. I was watching him play that first set, and right before it ended, we started the show, and he just looks so frail to me. I feel like he really needs some more muscle on him. And a different strategy, the whole running side to side at his height, is just not going to work. It's not. It's going to tire him out. I don't see him repeating the same thing again. I think he would drop out of the top 10.
I agree with you 100% here. Before we read this article...
We've said this.
We said this on the show before the Australian Open. At the end of last year, we were talking about this. We talked about specifically a couple of players, at least I brought up a few, and I think we concurred on all three of them. Well, you disagreed with me on one, and I'll tell you. Last year, when kind of the rise of Medvedev, I think we did a video too that said the rise of Medvedev. But we indicated that there was a couple of players that had this luxurious year at the end of the year, or heated up a little bit, but you didn't think they would repeat it. Berrettini, number one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Medvedev was another one.
Yep.
And Felix Auger-Aliassime, in my opinion, I'm not saying he's going to fall off, but
he seems to be holding on, though.
Well, he had some losses early in the year, and then he just beat...
But he has some tough matches. I just think that now, because he is ranked, he's kind of, before he was, he got a break from not being ranked, he was new. He's supposed to play Dimitrov in a little while. That should be a good match.
Yeah, again, at Medvedev's height and your build... running back and forth all day, it's just taxing. The career will be shortened if he doesn't fix that. And that's just my opinion, and some of you may disagree. But at his height and his build, playing that type of taxing game, Not saying you can't win a major
Isn't
that way.
Tsitsipas about his height as well?
Yeah, but
Tsitsipas is a lot more. He's not a defense.
He's more aggressive.
He's definitely more aggressive. Yeah.
Anyway, I agree with Kafelnikov. I disagree with Brad Gilbert. I think Brad Gilbert's a jolly soul too, but sometimes his thoughts are just way off base. He could be right, but I would agree with Kafelnikov.
Sometimes Brad Gilbert's thinking with the aliens and stuff.
That's all right. Next, quick topic. Bianca Andreescu has pulled out of Dubai. Tough luck.
Knee injury still. She has not recovered from that left knee injury, so they're going to put Muguruza in her place. So what's up, B-Dog, and all of you guys that were saying that Andreescu is the next big thing. Here we go again. We've passed one slam, the Australian Open, French Open around the corner. She has not played any tournaments. It does not look good for her.
And you have to question. Look, here, I'm going to put it like this: when she was healthy, I went at her. I attacked her fitness level. I attacked it. Go back and look at the shows. Andreescu, everybody's like, how can you guys say that? And I would say she looks thick, she looks heavy, and I only did that because she was healthy, but knowing that hey, she's on the court, she's good to go, so I'm going to pick on her fitness. But now I'm going to kind of take a step back and say I hope she's okay.
I hope she's okay. I want to see her play. I think we need her in the women's field.
Yeah, sweet girl, nice girl.
She has all the tools, all the shots, the personality, and I hate to see her injured still. Here we are going into March, and she's not playing Dubai, and then Indian Wells is around the corner.
Yeah, and
didn't she win Indian Wells?
Yeah, and I think too that as an athlete, a lot of times the media, your injuries are confidential. It's supposed to be that way. Doctors can be sued. So it's best to downplay or to leave your injuries to the masses quiet, especially for things like endorsements. Endorsements will bail on you and sponsors will bail on you. Usually the injuries are kept quiet, and it should be. So as much as we've researched what her exact injury is, and I just blew out my knee badly, surgery the whole bit, but I've looked for her exact injuries because I've been through so many knee and shoulder issues surgically, but I can't find it. So it's hush. And again, the question for me is how did this occur? If you look at her overall fitness when she first kind of jumped on the scene, kind of Canadian out of nowhere, right? Won Indian Wells. She was very thick. And I'm not knocking on her. Just look at it. Her arms were thick. Her legs were thick. She had, kind of, she looked like she was fit in kind of the midsection area, but everything else was just thick. And we used to always say on the show, geez, her knees and her body has to be taking a pounding. She needs to get fit. And she did. She got much more fit progressing through the year. But could it be that maybe the damage was already done to the knees? Kind of moving back and forth?
Also could be a lot of the movement that she does on the court. That's
yeah.
a lot of the way she slides and stuff. Not everybody can do what Djokovic does.
Yeah, so and she's a pretty aggressive player, but she can throw variety in it.
She has variety.
She has variety. So look, for Andreescu, if she was healthy, and then I would give her grief about this or that or her lack of playing or whatever. But she's not. I just hope she's better, and we'll do more smack talk on her when she's healthy. But right now, we hope she just gets better.
Let's just do smack talk. Let's just pound these players.
She's on injured reserve. We're not going to smack talk someone on IR, even though we like her. But. All right, real quick on this one. Johanna Konta loses again. She hasn't won a match at all this year.
And yeah, she had that great French Open run, great clay court season, but I mean that was a surprise to us. I mean, did we really expect her to continue being consistent?
Is Johanna Konta synonymous with Tim Henman? Shoulda, coulda, woulda?
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Not only that, we know that the WTA is very inconsistent. These women are like up and down, up and down.
What about Daniel Evans, the young, or not young, actually he's kind of a statesman. He just beat Karen Khachanov a minute ago.
Yeah.
So good win for him. And he's just a slice machine.
Good for him.
He just slices it.
What about Kevin Anderson going down at the New York Open?
I'm sure.
He went down to Jason Jung?
Oh, Jung. 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 Yeah, I mean, okay.
Here's another guy came back from injury, and
All right.
We'll remember him for the long match with Isner at Wimbledon.
Jeez. Do you have the score of that match? Was it a 7-6er typical to Anderson, or was it something different?
I'll find out.
Was it a 6-7 fest? I don't know. We'll see. For Johanna Konta, wish her the best. I hope that finally, the UK can throw up a player that really represents the country well, because they deserve it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to go on to the next subject.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, yeah, there was a 7-6 there.
Was there a 7-6 in there?
6-4.
Oh, no. Tiebreaker and a break. All right. The last topic that I have, that I have continued to come across in the past, say, 24 or 48 hours, is Roger Federer's net worth. Okay? Net worth. How much he's worth is a liquid or assets in his kind of domain, right? First of all, I say, who gives a shit? Woogus. I don't care who he's worth. Care, but I keep seeing it. So I did a little research on this because I never could get an exact number. Okay, so I looked at a couple things and then again, who gives a shit? But since I couldn't get it out of the articles that I read, I just tried to do it on my own. So he has prize money of $140 million. Mm-hmm. Okay, he signed a 10-year Uniqlo contract, upwards of $300 million. Holy shit!
He could share the love with all of us. What do you think, viewers? He could just give us a portion, all of us.
Okay. Plus the Roger Federer Foundation, okay, and I guess that's nonprofit. Plus a very lucrative sponsorship deal from the following companies: Brillia Pasta, Ole, tell me some spaghetti,
which I don't eat.
And I do think Roger Federer eats a cup of spaghetti before every match.
I used to when I played matches. Yes.
That she would have not eaten that spaghetti before the Australian. Set a little heavy on him there, so a little heavy.
No, it's supposed to give you energy.
Well, they set a little heavy on that day. Rolex, geez, I guess you can't imagine Rolex is up there. You think Rolex is worth more than Uniqlo? I do. Swiss watches, pricey. That's like a finishing move in Sub-Zero. Pricey. Godiva chocolate, Swiss chocolate.
That's good chocolate. My son loves that chocolate.
You think they sell any chocolate on Valentine's Day? I don't get that. We don't do that.
No, he doesn't believe in that.
What, chocolate?
No, like in Valentine's Day.
I do. You're my Valentine's Day 24/7, 365.
That's good.
Yeah. See? Share the love every day.
You should have celebrated just one day.
Share the love. Mm-hmm. Share the love. I'm like Cupid with a bow and arrow, but I want to snap, crackle, and smack you in the face half the time. Not really. Just playing. Because she'd actually punch me in the face back. So I have to lay off that shit. She'd get crazy. Crazy. And I'm not kidding. Okay, so what I'm getting at is that he's on the cusp of $1 billion and just contracts that I could find. Okay? So what I decided to do to further this, so here's homeboy that has to be close to $1 billion, right? But again, who gives a shit? I don't really give a damn. If I saw him on the street, I'd just be like, "What's up, man?" Okay.
Yeah, right.
What am I going to do? Go hug the dude? Can I get your autograph?
Look, I got your tattoo. You're gonna say?
No, that would be cheesy.
Uh-huh.
Look, man, when you see people on the street, just because they are, some superstar, you think I'm gonna go over there?
Oh, I would never. I've seen many. No.
Man, how many?
I don't even go up to them.
Okay, look, you like Shaquille O'Neal, for instance. I like this dude a lot. So all the people always run up to Shaquille O'Neal. No, let me get your autograph. Let me take a picture, a selfie. Blah, blah, blah. But it's the brother or somebody that doesn't pay him any attention that he'll go buy a whole bedroom suit of stuff for in the store.
Cool.
That's what I'm saying.
So make a note to yourself. Ignore them.
I'm not a 6-year-old kid.
Ignore them.
Care who you are. So what I decided to do is write.
Actually, if I saw them, I said, can I hit like a few tennis balls? I would love to play you like a game.
Can I? Okay. Yeah. But then they'll probably be like, "No, man, don't get away from me." But anyway, so I wrote a list here of a scattering of the most marketable athletes in the year 2019. Most marketable athletes. Okay. So I'm going to run down the top 10 and a few scattering within the top 50. Okay, so I'm going to run through them quick. All right, number 1 last year was Naomi Osaka. 2, Raheem Sterling, a soccer player from Madrid. Zion Williamson, 3, basketball. Megan Rapinoe, number 4, I think she's a soccer player. Kylian Mbappe, another soccer player. I hope I pronounced that right. Number 6, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's the basketball player for the Bucks. Hope the Lakers just dominate, even though I think they'll come out of the East. Brooks Koepka, number 7, golfer. Charles Leclerc, racing. Number 9, Dina Asher-Smith, track runner from the UK. All right. So Kanta, take some lessons from her. Simone Biles, number 10. Okay, that's the top 10 list.
That makes sense.
A scattering within the top 50. Sasha Zverev at number 16. Saquon Barkley at number 17. Saquon, every time I played Madden 20, I'm using you as my running back. Let's go. Run like Saquon. Dominic Thiem comes at number 20. Aaron Judge, the big batting baller from New York, your Yankees. Let's go. Even though the Giants are going to destroy them when they play interleague play this year. Aaron Judge is at number 25. Odell Beckham, who's in Cleveland. Too bad you're in Cleveland, bro. Yeah. But he was the number 28 on the list. Luka Doncic, baller from Slovenia, right? You see Slovenia? Mm-hmm. But play in those green shoes. At number 32, Tyson Fury. Boom, boom. Does he have a big Wilder fight coming up? I'm surprised Deontay Wilder isn't on this list in the top 50.
I like Deontay Wilder.
He's a Bama boy like me. Or I'm from California, but I live in Bama, like us. So we don't get much recognition down here in L.A. Lower Alabama, we get nothing. Hot-ass weather and humidity is what we get. We're happy
in
about
February.
that. In February. Sweating over here.
There was no cold weather really this year.
Who wins the fight? Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder?
Deontay.
I'm gonna go with Deontay too.
Yeah.
I think the first fight was pretty good as well. I do like Tyson Fury though. I love his attitude. I love the way he draws to the camera.
I love his accent. He's got a great accent.
But maybe Johanna Konta can take a lesson in fight from Fury, and maybe she can take a lesson in footwork and speed and strength in the legs from Dina Asher-Smith. Let's go. Not Tim Hinman though. Number 36 is Sloane Stephens. What's up, chocolate milk?
That chocolate milk did it.
Think people are drinking chocolate milk now? Give me some chocolate milk.
Preschoolers are.
Let's go. Chocolate milk. Boom.
She's selling to the preschoolers.
Let's get down. We're getting all hot and sweaty, slugging on some chocolate milk.
Man, I've had a long match. Let me go get some chocolate milk.
Hot out here, 120 in heat. Hey, ref, give me some of that chocolate milk.
Oh, man.
Put some Gatorade in a chocolate milk bottle. Enjoy the chocolate milk. Gatorade. All right,
I don't even drink Gatorade. It's bad for your teeth.
I don't either. Ashley Barty, last on the list at number 47. What's up, Barty, knocking on the baby? Come on, Barty.
Serena wasn't in that list?
Serena was not on the list for 2019.
And neither was Sharapova.
I'm sure they were in the top something, but this was the top.
I'm surprised that Nadal, Federer, Djokovic are not on that list.
Don't know. Top 15. Or top 50.
Then
Top 50.
Tia? How is Tia marketable?
Look it up. Google it up. I did.
Master Splinter.
I
What is
don't
he
know.
doing? Ninja Turtle movies?
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, maybe he's sharing his hair products.
That's why he frosted his tips.
Yeah,
Got it.
he's got some tips. I mean,
I saw Osaka's clothing line and I thought that was whack.
I think it's pretty cool that she was number one, though.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, knocks up.
Her clothing line that she just did in New York. Whack.
All right, that's it. I'm out. Let's go. Take care. Much love to all of you. We'll see you real soon. Let's go. I hate to say a day. Probably tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Bye-bye.